Everybody keeps asking, who's controlling the Democrats? Well, we think we figured it out.
We have is in this moment.
Center them in this moment.
This is the moment.
You know, I think about what's happening, in this moment.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. CNN SRS, look at that, 29%.
What's important is that we meet this moment.
What do you want to see us doing in this moment?
Against Elon Musk and Donald Trump in this moment.
All I can say is I'm a big fan of the oldies, so I'm going to quote Chubby Checker, how low can you go?
Fire. Elon says this is the biggest scam of all time. He's also saying that there's many money printers out there, magic money machines, that are just sending people like this money out of thin air. Not only that, Elon had asked, we got to find out who is writing the script for everyone? Because you know she doesn't write her own stuff. Why are you scripting this thing in this moment? In this moment? In this moment? But in this moment, I figured out who it is. Elon said whoever figures it out first gets a Tesla? I already got one. This is now the worst hated vehicle on the road. First, the liberals loved it. Conservatives hated it. Don't you be bringing y'all windmills to Texas. Y'all ain't gonna plug your car into my house. And now Elon goes to the other side. Now conservatives hate it and liberals hate it. You did me dirty, Elon. I knew I should have went with the Bugatti. I think I found her. Julia Spiegel, founder and CEO of GovAct and an award-winning attorney. Gotta love those attorneys. Never met one that I loved. Let me just read a little bit of the bio and see if maybe she warms my heart up. GovAct, I don't like that. Julia served as legal counsel, senior advisor to Gavin Newsom. Now I really don't like her. Oh, and she's an advocate of reproductive rights, which is probably the opposite of reproductive rights. It's like she handles health and human services, consumer protection. Unless the consumer's in the womb, then you have no protection, and immigration. Gentlemen, if you're thinking about dating Julia, I would be careful if you want to have kids and you're like, wait, where to go? Oh, and a little bit more on her. Quote, Governor Mills was standing up for the Constitution. I like that. She was standing up for federalism. Her place in the constitutional system. All right, let's hear you speak.
Catch a little bit of Governor Hutchinson before we came on the stage, and I know he's concerned. He expressed some concern about the nature of the pushback that Governor Mills provided based on the issue about transgender athletes and women playing against women. What I'd argue is that Governor Mills was standing up for the Constitution.
Because that's the Constitution. There's men playing in women's sports. It's a constitutional right.
She was saying you cannot say you will take away all of our federal...
Preach! What sermon is this? You go, preach!
Now I paid him to be on the panel. I don't know what's going on. Governor Mills, my point is, she was standing up for the Constitution. She was standing up for federalism. She was standing up for her place in the constitutional system.
Yes. We need more federalism. Also, it looks like I may have missed this Tesla. I found this too. Exclusive Dem governors get strategy for National Guard deployment. Executive orders to resist Trump. I got 126 documents with her name all over them with a lot of black. It is an interesting read, though. Election Sabotage Response Network. Boy, lots of good stuff in here. Voters decide elections, not politicians or Elon Musk. Elon's just the one that is uncovering, oh my gosh.
I think we found now 14 magic money computers.
Now you're like, what is a magic money computer? Guys, there is so much fraud. What I was saying in yesterday's video, it's like United States of fraud. And these people are so mad, like education, like everyone, when you want to cut the spigot off, cut the fraud.
When they cut half the people, it's like evisceration by 1,000 cuts. Yeah. So you want to do this? Have the fight with us in Congress. Let's make sure we get the issues out there. I'm so mad. I'm spitting mad about this because it's hurting the people who can't vote. Children don't vote. Let's not take away their opportunity.
Also coming in from France. That's not France. They said they want their Statue of Liberty back. Guess we're not handling things appropriately over here.
There is now a member of the European Parliament from France who does not think the U.S. represents the values of the Statue of Liberty anymore. They want the Statue of Liberty back. So is President Trump going to send the Statue of Liberty back to France?
Absolutely not. And my advice to that unnamed low-level French politician would be to remind them that it's only because of the United States of America that the French are not speaking German right now. So they should be very grateful to our great country.
And I say, oh my gosh, what a burn. And what would we do with the Treasury Department? Like, we can't put her on it anymore. But this is where our magic money machine is. You got to listen to Elon.
One of the things you told me about is what you call
insane.
magic money computers at the Treasury.
Well,
so tell us about it, because I never heard of that until you brought that up.
Okay, so you may think that that the government computers like all talk to each other, they synchronize, they add up what funds are going somewhere, and it's it's coherent. That there's and that the numbers, for example, that you're presented as a senator, are actually the real numbers.
One would think.
They're not.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, they're not totally wrong, but they're probably off by 5% or 10% in some cases. So I call a magic money computer any computer which can just make money out of thin air. That's magic money.
So how does that work?
It just issues payments.
And you said there's something like 11 of these computers at Treasury that are sending out trillions in payments?
They're mostly at Treasury. Some are, but there's some at HHS, some there's one or two at State, there's some at DOD. I think we found now 14 magic money computers.
14, okay.
They just send money out of nothing.
I know what you're thinking. Oh, well, if it's out of nothing, then fine. Oh no, you still get to pay it back in your taxes of $379,000. Every time they issue magic money, you pay it back. And now you're starting to understand, how is Nancy Pelosi worth so dang much? This is an example of how $174,000, that's their salary, turns into $250,000 net worth. Which I think I got a comma wrong. Scratch that. I think she makes a little bit more. How about, I fact check myself, $267 million. How does she do it, you ask? Well, again, it starts here, and then it goes to here, and then they take it out of your taxes, and then they give it to Nancy. And Nancy pays $1 a day for my bear market watch list. It's going up this week, and like what I put on this channel, we all put in a buy. If you did it with leverage, or you're like, I'm going to take out a contract, what are you guys up, 50%? And it was on Thursday, I'm like, we're going all in. That's when this thing was even more extreme fear. Still holding, even when Tesla shares are down 40%. Actually, I have this example in my bear market course. Everyone's like, gotta go long on Tesla. And every day I come here saying things like, Treasury Secretary Bessent says the White House is heading for a financial crisis. So with a guaranteed financial crisis, take my bear market course, $199. Stock market will go back down. The price of that course will go back up to $1,000. But I decided to run a one-day sale on that one in my futures because people are like, I didn't get your futures and I don't have $1,000. So if you guys want it, let's do a guaranteed thing. So while Bessent says we're guaranteed financial crisis, I know we're heading off. I say we're heading off a cliff. And these kids don't give an F about your stock market because you cannot save America and the fraud and the stock market at the same time because it's like the baby in the bathwater, which that's a terrible analogy. We're not going to throw either of them out. But when banks are telling you, look at this, fundamentals are weakening. I don't care. I just follow a stupid candle. I guess fundamentals, everyone's out, right? Douchey, Deutsche Bank says sell-off in United States stocks has further to go. Yes, it does, but I'm going to make money up. I'm sure it's confusing everyone when I'm like, grab my bear market course, market go down. And I put in a buy that market's going to go up. I'm going to probably start to, maybe we're going to see when it hits the 200, I'll start ditching. That trade, because you guys ask, like, how much? About $250,000. That trade was out of a retirement account, so you don't have the tax implication. Well, I mean, you still got tax implications later on. Also, when I make big trades like that, it keeps me out of a divorce. Because worst case scenario, it's the S&P 500. SPY. Babe, I bought the S&P 500. Never make trades of this size on, like, single stocks. But yes, SPY is a single stock. What I'm trying to help you do is learn how to do this in a you do it in a retirement account. You just keep going up. You actually might have something in there. Worst case scenario, you own the S&P 500. Let's just say you don't sell. Well, ta-da! Yeah, that's actually that's some thinking up in that head. Maybe I will take his course and subscribe, please. I beg of you. Because please understand, if you subscribe, you can come get my Hostess fruit pie. Okay? And if you don't mind, I'd like to chase a squirrel on this one real quick. Just takes a few seconds. 450 calories. How is this fruit? There's no date on this. I looked it up. I actually look at this. I think I'm gonna keep this. That looks good, right? I'm gonna keep this on my desk. How is there apples in a box? It has absolutely no extra. See, I could eat this thing for years. And then the next question, why is it stuck to the roof of my mouth forever? That is insanity. We need people, right? There is so much of our system we have to fix. I was over at grandkid's house. Up to number 4, they had that on the counter. I was like, what you feed my grandkid? What they eat nowadays? First ingredient, corn syrup. Second ingredient, sugar. The good kind, sucrose. You wonder why we have a national obesity crisis. 65% of adults, 15% of children. Well, give them a few more years. You do know why it's part of the system to keep you fat, sick. They start you out as a little baby. And they're like, here's some big pharma pills for you. And they keep you sick until finally you die. And then they just keep this thing going. And then I'm called a tinfoil hat. And then congressmen and women come out and they're like, no, actually, everything that you're saying is true. But all the media and the propaganda is like, no, you can't. Don't eat meat. Meat's bad for you. Just eat vegetables. That'll solve the climate change. Oh, but talking about beef, you got to hear this.
Trying to force our cattle and bison producers to use what are called RFID or EID ear tags, electronic identification ear tags. They want to chip them all. And I've been fighting against this, and they say it's for disease traceability. If there's a brucellosis outbreak or hoof and mouth disease, we've got to know that immediately so we can isolate that animal, and et cetera. We have the very best disease traceability program anywhere in the world in the United States. It's worked beautifully for hundreds of years. It's extremely effective. We're able to isolate animals immediately if there's an issue, despite the fact, and in addition to which we have the healthiest herds of anywhere in the world. So you look at all of that, and so you think, okay, what is this really about? And then you start looking at the countries that have implemented this. Ireland implemented it in early 2022. By August of 23, they were issuing an order that they had to slaughter 41,000 head of cattle, not because of a disease outbreak, but because of global warming. In the Netherlands, Denmark, they adopted an EID mandate, and last year they imposed a $100 a head tax on every single head of cattle in the country, not because of a disease outbreak, because of global warming. So what you start seeing is how they use this information. This is a $1.2 to $1.9 billion tax on the cattle industry if it's actually implemented 100%.
There you have it. Just like always, follow the money. They are lying, even on St. Paddy's Day. And she had mentioned Ireland. Let's listen to someone from Ireland and see what's going on over there. See, the people are like, yeah, no, we're just going to keep on getting invaded. And then the government officials are like, oh my gosh, we make so much money.
You know, and it'll be music to the people of Ireland's ears, because never on the main stage has the issues the people of Ireland face been spoke. You know, our government has long since abandoned the voices of the people of Ireland. And it's high time that America is made aware of what is going on in Ireland. What is going on in Ireland is a travesty. Our government is the government of zero action with zero accountability. You know, our money is being spent on overseas issues that has nothing to do with the Irish people. The illegal immigration racket is running ravage on the country. There are rural towns in Ireland that have been overrun in one swoop, that have become a minority in one swoop. So issues need to be addressed, and the 40 million Irish Americans, as I said, need to hear this, because if not, there will be no place to come home and visit. You know, Ireland is at the cusp of, you know, potentially losing its Irishness, and I'm here to raise the issue and highlight it. You know, it's also St. Patrick's Day, so a little bit of celebrations for sure.
Ireland is using the same playbook as we are. They're like, all of our money's going somewhere else. Our whole population isn't like Ireland anymore. They're playing off the same playbook that we are. They launder money overseas, then they go get it. It goes back into the politicians. And then the politicians, then they look at all this money to get reelected. And I know some of you guys are like, but bravo, it's changing over here. And we have Donald Trump. Yeah, everything's great. Donald Trump. We got 4 years. You got 2. Maybe less, because the money printers are stopping. And guys, our economy, this is the manufacturing index. This was last month. This is this month. And people are going to start getting upset. They're like, look at our economy. Look what Trump did to my jobs, our economy, the stock market. Yes, it's a scorched earth, and people don't see it yet. They're starting to see it. The stock market was propped up by printing money, laundered money, DC, nonprofits, USAID, inflation, stock market, like here we are. Stock market decline evens it out. We need some deflationary pressure. You got everyone on this side that is like, let it burn. This side, that's the Treasury. That's the dude that prints the bonds. While Elon's over there burning his own company down. I mean, should have just kept it going, guys. I mean, I gotta hand it to him. JP Morgan expects Tesla. Again, click the screen, the plus button, and click sell. And if you don't have Tesla and you make money going down, to report its worst quarterly deliveries in 3 years. So from the automotive industry to the airline industry, 50% business travel cut, gone, to people manufacturing things. I thought it was all coming back. And here's the crazy thought is we've just had a ton of inventory buildup because they're like, oh, tariffs. Tariffs are bad. Let's just buy everything. That buy everything isn't really being reflective. When I say it's bad, times that by 4. But I will take it to destroy this thing. Well, except for the statue. The statue can stay. And remember to grab the deals. That $1 watch list bear market go down. That's gone. But grab the 199s. With that, I love you. I will see you tomorrow.